Good afternoon, happy Savage Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and guys, we are here today with Savage Saturday Comic Review, episode 94. We're bringing you something that I bet a lot of you have never heard of, but if you're a Bronze Age baby and you love the Bronze Age like I do, you're going to love this, especially if you like artist and creator Gil Kane, known for Black Mark and Conan the Barbarian and a bunch of projects over at DC, Creatures on the Loose at Marvel, Atom, Green Lantern, just his list goes on and on. I don't think there's a character out there that Gil Kane hasn't touched. And for me, I love his monsters. I love his art. Black Mark is a cool character he created, and today we're going to talk about another character he created. And this is Talos of the Wilderness Sea. And this is also written by Gil Kane. And art by Gil Kane. Of course, the cover is by Gil Kane. We have a Gil Kane production here, folks, so let's get into it. So this is a fun book. I actually read this for the first time. It was a title I hadn't heard of up until about 6 months ago, and I picked up a couple copies of it when I saw it. I had a feeling I would enjoy it. And as our story opens up, there's this weird forest. It looks strange, and it's being invaded by these riders, right? And the wilderness creatures, and they give you kind of a few panels to let you set up how this world looks and what the aesthetics of it are. And we'll show you this real quick, just so you can know it too. So that's the forest. So not your customary trees, right? So obviously we're on a different planet. Now, they see these riders coming, and all the animals disperse and go hide in the forest. And these raiders, they're after this tribe of people they call the Beast People, because they enslave them and they use them for their own personal needs. And the guy at the head of this invading party, his name is Jagar. And he's always got his own agenda. So the opening panel, you see them breaking into the village of the Beast People, and they're starting to slaughter and corral some of them. Beautiful 2-page spread by Kane. And so I said written by Gil Kane, but it was actually written by Gil Kane and Jan Sterdad. So I'm not sure which way you pronounce it, but I want to make sure everyone gets their credit, right? So these raiders, they burn through the village, and they're sitting there and they're destroying everyone who they're not going to enslave, killing them wholesale. One guy escapes, and he is being chased into the forest by this Jagger guy. We'll show you a little bit more of 2 pages of them just completely decimating this poor village of people. The one guy that escapes gets a bit of luck, right? As the guy is riding him down on a horse, and the horse have like 2 long like unicorn horns. They're kind of cool looking. But as he's riding him down, he throws a net to ensnare him, and at that time one of the what's more like a wild deer runs in front and gets the net himself. The guy keeps pursuing, and he finds something that has not been seen by his people. And it says, suddenly Jagar froze in his tracks, a muffled cry. He had found his quarry and stumbled onto a scene rarely witnessed by humans, the birth of a beast baby. And the guy he was pursuing is helping his wife, who he had hidden in the forest, and they have a child. And Jagar is watching this the whole time. Now, when the child is born, the woman instantly rejects it, and she wants to get rid of the baby. Because the husband says it looks human, it's a human baby. She's like, it's the work of the devil. I don't want to look at it, kill it. And she wants to kill this baby. The husband doesn't. He's like, he's ours, Verena. Whatever he is, however monstrous, he is our son. And that's when Jagar makes his presence known. And he's like, not anymore. Give him to me, because he's got a plot. Where he's from, the king is having problems with his wife. He can't sire a child, and all the midwives that are birthing the dead babies that are coming from his wife are being put to murder afterward, being put to death. And his wife is the bed maiden to the new one, and she's about to give birth. So since she's the new handmaiden, she's about to give birth, accept the birth of the queen, and she knows that the child will be stillborn. She will be put to death after that. Sorry for the stumbling, guys. But he has a plot, so he takes this baby. The father goes to defend the baby, and he runs the father through with the sword and leaves him dead, and the mom just sits there and lets him take the child. And you can see her next to her dead husband, and then you can see all the beast people that they captured, enslaved, and being marched back to their city. So really, really dire beginning. And Jagar is saying it right. He's like, the beast woman was right. The child was devil's work, and it might just be the miracle that will spare my wife. He says, rest easy, little miracle. I'm going to give you a kingdom as a gift. Now, he's not doing anything nice for the child. He's only sparing the child because it can save his wife. And that's it. That's as far as his interest goes. Otherwise, he would have killed the mom and the child right there as well. And once we get to their city, the birth has already taken place, and his wife is on the side. She's holding the dead baby in her arms, and he calls her over. It's like, Ingla, over here. And the king is already distraught. There's a bunch of other handmaidens at the bed with the king's wife, with the queen. And he's like, take this child as a gift from the gods. Let it be raised as heir to the Tsar, and then never speak of this to me of this day again. So she takes the child out. She's like, look, my queen, the child yet lives. He had made it there just in time with the kid. And the king accepts the child as his own, and his wife is spared. Jagar's wife is spared, and we have this beast people kid that is a miracle, and you're gonna have to figure out what kind of miracle. Although the cover makes it pretty obvious, but so fun story so far. And then it goes through the stages of him growing up. His adopted mom, which he doesn't know isn't his real mom, gives birth to a brother, and that brother killed the mom in the birthing, so she died during the childbirth of that woman that really wasn't meant to birth children. Her body just couldn't handle it. But he's growing up. He's got a natural adeptness at sport and hunting and fighting, so he's taken to that fast. And he doesn't see the beast people like everybody else does. He actually befriends them, and he's got the soul of his father before him. He is a good person. Now he is watching them lead the people into there, and he is talking to one of the beast people, and his father shows up and really starts railing on him for it. Says, they're here to serve us. We are their masters. Do not lower yourself. And he doesn't take kindly to this at all. Everyone there calls them slave beasts. He doesn't know yet that he's one of them. Just he was born looking human. And as he's going about his day, he comes across one of his friends, right? And he goes, these people had been his friends. Though Karen recognized, and they named him Karen, sorry about that, had recognized their difference in status, he could never accept it. Indeed, he felt closer to his friends than to the man who called him son. From that day on, Karen's meetings with Tobey became fewer and more furtive and all the more precious. But on this particular night, Tobey led his friend toward the hills, and he got out with his friend, and he brought him to this sacrifice, and around it were 13 slave beasts, was what they called them. 13 of them, chosen from those who tried to escape the compound of the tomb of the gods. And what they're doing, and what these two kids are witness to, is terrible on one side and just a religious belief on the other. As they're watching, the king's army comes forward, led by Jagar, of course, and they slaughter the guys who are trying to call down their god. And what they're trying to do is they're praying for their savior, the Talos, to come and deliver them from slavery, is what Kobe tells them. And, you know, Karen, he can't really understand that, right? He goes, there's a lot of them. Why don't they just rise up and defend themselves? And, you know, he has to kind of explain to Karen that they just don't have that ability. They're weak, they're starved, they're a slave. They don't have the strength to rise up. But they do have their belief in Talos, their god. And they know, because they're escaped, that they're going to be sacrificed, but it's part of their plan to be sacrificed. And to hopefully appease their god Talos and bring this god to Earth. Now, in this, as they're watching this butchering of the beast people, Talos has, well, he's not Talos. Cairn has his face turned red and like a mask, and it's something that happens to him when he's angry. So it's a mark that only he has, and he doesn't understand it. So he goes back in and he's training, and Jagar still doesn't like him. Yes, he saved him, but he convinces the king to send 2 of the trainers against him, and Cairn just completely wrecks them and beats them, and Jagar tries to save himself. He goes, "You see Zartoth?" And that's the king's name. There's no need to fear for Cairn as a noble warrior. Why, I myself would surely have trouble dealing with the fierceness he displays as a swordsman. And the king says, soon he will face the will of the gods. Is he warrior enough? And then as he's thinking, he says, and then there is the cat. And then we go to this other little story, this side along, where it's about this white cat. And it's been preying the borders, and it's been killing the people of that city. And the king wants the cat dead. They can't venture out to the fields very often without the cat showing up and murdering his soldiers. And it hasn't really been doing anything to the beast people, but it has been murdering his soldiers quite a bit. And as you can see, the beast is still out there, the white cat. And then we see Cairn going out, being sent out into the wild without anything with him for his test of manhood. So as he's out there, he makes a knife out of a rock, chipping it away, heating it, and then he attacks a wild stag and kills it for his food. But as he's there, the cat comes across him, and he's not really standing a chance. The cat really starts treating him like prey, and the cat finally takes a swipe at him, puts him down, and puts its big paw on his chest. And when it's going to kill him, their eyes connect and something happens. They both kind of get a peek into each other's souls, and they know they're connected. After that, the relationship with him and the cat is completely changed. And you can see that here. And the cat takes off. Cairn is still heavily wounded from his battle with the cat, so he slinks into exhaustion and just passes out. All right. So when he does wake up, he's just pondering the things about the cat. Why did it stop? What happened when the weird flash happened and they connected? Why are they connected? And he's thinking about all these things. He's trying to figure it out. And it says, Cairn's thoughts were muddled, his mind confused. His link with the great cat, was it revelation or delirium? And then suddenly, over the crackling fire, he heard a change in the surrounding stillness. And out of that stillness comes a pack of wolves, and they set upon him. Now they attack first at one, then the group, and they pull him down. And that's when the cat shows back up and disperses the wolves, killing a couple of them and the rest fleeing. And he knows that their connection is deeper than he even realized. And you can see the battle going on here. And Talos is really, I keep calling him Talos. We all know he's going to be Talos, damn it. It's the name of the book. Cairn, who is not yet Talos, he took a lot of wounds from the wolves. And he is near exhaustion, and he is in need of medical help. Now, Jagar shows up, and he starts with his army, and they've been hunting the cat, and they're going to kill it. The cat bounds over to Cairn, picks him up, and then bounds back over the whole entire army and proceeds to rescue Cairn and take him away. Now Cairn is telling, before they're gone, Karen is telling Jaguar that this creature and I share some tie, some connection deeper than I know. Who kills her will have to kill me first. And Jaguar's got to play his game real quick. He's like, hold, man, the young prince speaks with his mind by fevered by wounds. And Karen calls him out on it. He goes, Jaguar, I do not think I cannot see past your concern. You're going to try to separate us and come in for the kill. And Jaguar's still trying to play his game like he's his friend. Like, my prince, what foolish words are these? But he's not buying it, and he says the first person to touch the cat will die by his dagger. And that's when the cat leaps over, and they're gone. And Jaguar makes an oath. I gave you life, the life you lead, young master. I swear I shall also be the one to take it away. And the beast takes him to the clan of the beast people. He's never seen them outside of being slaves in his city. And this is where his mother recognizes him. And she says, you have finally come home, my son, as I always knew you would. Now, quite a different tune she's singing now that she knows this kid is the promised one, right? When she wanted him killed at birth. And one of my only grievances with this book is they don't address that. He just kind of gets into this town with the beast people. He connects with them. They tell them their plight. They tell them about the god Talos. And he comes to realize that he's one of them. And that's why he feels so at home with them. And as they're talking, and as he's learning about what happened to him in his life, and he's learning that these are his people, this giant beast attacks. And for the first time, him and the cat are fighting together. And they wound this beast enough where the beast takes off. It's a quick, fierce battle. And they're both wounding the beast in their own ways, and the beast leaves. And afterward, the mom is saying, people of the woods, only the gods prosper in everything. This day we have seen an agent of change in our lives. We have endured the pain of the world. Our losses are beyond recounting. We have found the champion of the gods themselves have promised us, and this is another person talking now, someone to deliver us from this existence. This boy brought to us by a sacred mount. We will not vex the living with our grievance for the dead, but attention must be paid. With the rising of our hopes, we'll be reborn and carried to a new day by our leader, our Talos of the Wilderness Sea. It is goodbye to winters with once lice-infested blankets, goodbye to fire that scorches outside and in, goodbye to only enduring, goodbye to all that. And we go to the next page, and you kind of see the connection and him rising up to become this Talos. So there's a lot going on there. Him being accepted by his people, him recognizing that he has become this Talos of the Wilderness Sea, their god arisen. And as they're realizing this, Jaguar and company come into their lair, but they have set a trap for them. And Jaguar realizes too late that the trap is set. And when he enters, all these boulders start piling down. And Jaguar is left wounded and broken on the battlefield. And that's when Talos approaches him. He says, Jaguar, he recognizes him. He goes, the last thing Jaguar remembered seeing was a half-mad wolf boy and his demon mount descended on him. Now, as his numbed and broken body lay crumpled against some boulder fragments he heard, struggling for breath, Jaguar stared at the white-maned young prince. Why? What are these beasts to you? Why do you spill blood for a pack of savages? And that's when Karen, now Talos, tells him, They are flesh of my flesh. I was always a stranger in the royal house of Zartoth. Now I have come home to fulfill my destiny. And Jaguar finally realizing his plight says, the spirits of the gods have waited for this day. I knew it would come. I knew I would have to answer for the deception of your birth, young master. Perhaps the time is now. You've satisfied their prophecy. Now you begin and I end. And with that, Jaguar dies. And you have Talos sitting on the great white cat saying, my true test awaits. The trial to determine my fate, the judgment of the gods. And that's where our introductory story to this character created by Gil Kane ends. Now, a really exceptional read. Like I said, my only complaint about the story was there was no reckoning with his mom for wanting to kill him when he was born and just letting him be given up, right? And I thought there should have been something addressed there. I think the page constraints for what they had to keep it down. Probably cut something like that out of there. But overall, this is an A story. I would have gave it an A plus if they resolved the issue with his mom when she wanted him killed when he was a baby. They just let that go by. Maybe they just figured, she grew wiser with age and knew that she did wrong, and now she was waiting her son back, a mother's love and all that. But the art is great throughout. You can always tell when Gil Kane's working on something that he loves. It's a passion project for him. So overall, great story, great art, and it's too bad that this character didn't take off. But again, it was in DC Special #1, Talos of the Wilderness Sea. If you see it, it's a cheap book. Pick it up. It's a great read. You'll have a lot of fun with it. The art's fantastic. The story's well paced. And it's a character that you can identify with. So overall, an A all around. Really enjoyed this read. I hope you guys like seeing something a little bit different this week. And until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code KEEPITCASUAL for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.